I had to stop thinking normal. I had to stop thinking normal. I can no longer be a common man walking around doing common things. But no one taught me this stuff. It wasn't like I had, I paid a trainer to come train me. Jenny Craig didn't come down and miracle my ass. None of this happened. It was on me. And that's the thing you have to realize. Everything you do, you may have some support, you may not, but it's on you. You have to make the decision whether you want to be a badass or whether you just want to be mediocre and everything's okay. We have to break the barriers within our minds, within the world. And it starts with yourself. It starts with yourself. You got to break the barriers down within yourself and just go there. You got to go to yourself. You're going to find peace from going to war with yourself, because we all got shit. We all got shit. People look at me. The reason why my story resonates with people, because I don't hide. I'll tell you exactly who the fuck I am. I will admit to it. People are great at hiding. So they want to just find peace. No, you got to take your shit, fix whatever's fucked up in you. Don't just shove it under the rug. Fix it, and then you'll find some peace later after you fix some shit. So now I'm realizing this. I go home, several months go by, and now I'm like, okay, here we go. It's time to be a Navy SEAL. With success in life comes more haters. Don't make them hurt your feelings. Use them for fuel. Use them for energy. In times of need, put them on the fucking mental Rolodex in your mind. And when you don't want to do shit, roll through your brain. Pull up that motherfucker that you need. That person who said you couldn't do something. Weren't fast enough, good enough, smart enough, where the fuck you may be. Use it for energy. Instead of killing them with kindness, torch them with fucking success. In life, we have to continue pushing past the odds. Use everything this world has to give you for fuel. Stay hard. It's so easy to be great nowadays, my friend, because most people are weak. Most people don't want to go to that extra mile. Most people don't want to find that extra because it sucks. It's miserable. It's lonely. You talk about that you were kind of, lonely by yourself. I was the same way. And that used to hurt me growing up. Now I fucking thrive in that shit. That's the only place to be. We all have a dungeon. I'm just willing to talk about mine.
Yeah.
Most of us aren't willing to talk about it. I want to talk about my dungeon. I wasn't building that so-called mental toughness. Mental toughness isn't something that you sample. It's something that you live in every day. So when something hard would happen to these kids, like in Hell Week, it would draw on something that made them very insecure. And they look for comfort. Whenever hardness comes, and you don't know what it is, it may be different for you than it is for me, but you go back to your insecurities. And then when you go back to your insecurities, you then look for comfort within those insecurities. And we all look for that cookie that your mom used to give you when you were sad, when you were sick. We look for our wife or our husband. We look for comfort. It's in those moments you must retrain your mind to think differently in hell. This isn't for the masses. This is for those who want to leave normal behind. Those who are in search of a new realm. It's a lonely journey. You're isolated. Those who used to keep pace with you will fall off. They'll see where their world ends and yours begins. Your ability to suffer, endure. Outwork must be greater. You must be willing to extend yourself to the limit with no guarantee of success. Every day, you must ask yourself, did I do enough? Stay hard. The physical standard is not what they need to meet. It's a mental standard you must meet in life. So going back to when I was sick, I was hitting the physical standards. I wasn't meeting the mental standard. The mental standard is you must know how far you've come. I had come 8,000 miles from where I started. But if you never know that, you're still in the $7 a month place. When I was sick, I was able to slow it down and reflect back on my entire life. And in that bed, and I thought I was dying, because that story is long, that sick portion of my life is long. I didn't care if I died or lived, because I was, for the first time in my life, happy and at peace. Because I reflected back on where I started. It wasn't like someone came down here and guided me through life. When you figure this out on your own, the amount of pride and dignity and self-respect you have. That's why I walk around the streets with a backpack and just like, I don't need anything else. You figure it out by going inside yourself, by callousing over the victim's mentality. You're always a victim, even if you have everything in life, until you realize that you've cheated. This is my life. I'm not that smart. I'm depressed. I have a horrible life. I have these two guys, one guy so I became this 297-pound person because it became my body armor.
Yeah.
Because the inside was a fragile, weak, insecure kid. So I put this big man around it. So when people looked at me, I intimidated them. I scared them. But if they knew the real me, just a little punk.
Yeah.
I was a little punk kid in a 24-year-old guy's body. So I said to myself, I'm gonna run 4 miles. My first run out the gate, I'm gonna run 4 miles. I ran a mile, I ran a quarter of a mile, walked home, sat on the couch depressed. I said, man, there's no way I can do this. But what I realized though, is I wasn't gonna give up, because I already given up a million times. And I thought about how would I feel at 50 years old if I gave up now? I mean, not to have, so I kept all this stuff in my mind. And basically, I started becoming obsessed. I slowly, it didn't happen that night on the couch.
Right.
Over a period of time, I started becoming obsessed with studying, with weight, with being somebody, with making people who thought I was gonna be nothing kind of feel like shit. I became obsessed with, you have to make this right. And the only person that's gonna do it is yourself. So I became obsessed with just being obsessed. And that's what it was, man. I saw some guys going through Navy SEAL training, and they're going through Hell Week, and they're getting their ass just beat. In and out of the water, guys ringing the bell. They're just suffering. And I was weighing like 297 pounds. And I had to make a change in my life. I was at an all-time low, and I wasn't going anywhere. And I was exactly what everybody said I was going to be, which was nothing. So I had to make a change. Well, for me, growing up, I came from a horrible background. I got called nigger every day of my life growing up. One of the high-ups in the KKK, son, sat behind me in 2 classes, so he called me nigger all the time. Got my first car, they spray painted nigger, we're gonna kill you on it. So I was just an insecure, scared kid. And the only way I could find myself was through putting myself through the worst thing possible. No one was helping me out. One time this person drew a picture of me and said, we're gonna kill you nigger on my Spanish notebook. And I took it to my principal. And my principal said, they spelled nigger Niger. That was the best advice he can give me. So long story short, what I realized was no one was here to help me. And the feeling I had every morning, I looked in the mirror, was horrible. And I didn't want to feel like that anymore. And how I felt was a kid going nowhere, a kid that was scared. And most kids will accept that and look for help. But the best thing that happened to me, no one helped me. No one felt sorry for me. No one looked at me and said, like this day and age, they'll take you in and they'll tell everybody, stop picking on this person. Back then, they didn't care. Well, life took me somewhere unexpected. I'm unprepared. It's about 6 degrees out here, and I'm underdressed. But guess what? No one gives a fuck. You gotta get the motherfucker in. Sometimes life can really hijack your fucking mind. When that happens to you, you're all fucked up. Your goals, your ambitions, everything is out the fucking window. In life, we all go through different things. Sometimes your girlfriend or boyfriend breaks up with you. Guess what? Get the fuck over it. They no longer want you. Maybe you failed a test in school, you worked your ass off. Guess what? You failed the fucking test. Get over it, move past it. Learn to not let life hijack your brain. At work, you've been working your ass off for that new promotion. You don't fucking get it, someone else does. Maybe they kiss better ass than you do. Guess what? Get over it. Life will hijack your mind if you let it. Don't allow all these things to make you a lesser person. You must own your mind. Don't let life own yours. Get after it, stay hard. I had to figure out I wasn't going to be a punk kid all my life. So the only way I could turn it around was to suffer. I had to build calluses in my brain the same way I built calluses on my hands. So I broke the Guinness Book of World Records for pull-ups a long time ago, but I failed at it twice. And I did 67,000 pull-ups in trying to break this record. So to do 4,030 pull-ups, I had to do 67,000 for training for that.
Wow.
And so what I realized is for me to become the man I wanted to become, I saw myself as the weakest person God ever created. But I never blamed God for anything he did to me. So I wanted to change that to be the hardest man ever created. Am I that? I don't know, but you had to have a goal. And my goal when I was sitting there not going to school, being bullied, having no self-esteem. My goal was the only person that's gonna turn this person around is me. The only way I can turn it around is put myself through the worst things possible a human being can ever endure. And that'd be the only way that I can build this brain to handle anything that comes in front of it, callousing my mind through pain and suffering. But my biggest advice to him is that, first of all, he won't like what I say to him, because I'm gonna say the exact opposite of what today's world is saying. So we read a bunch of books nowadays. As humans, we want to find out how to be someone else. What we don't do is we don't go inside. So literally turn yourself inside out. Read the book that's like we're writing a book every day of our lives, but we never read that book. So what I would challenge this young man or young woman to do is you have to look inside of yourself to see what you really want. What are you passionate about? We use these words and these little phrases of only the strong survive and all this other crap. They're all just fucking words. I get so tired of hearing people just talking. Like right now, someone may think Goggins is just talking. You don't know me. So when I speak from passion. I speak from experience. I speak from suffering. I have to tell this young man or woman that the only way I believe, and this is just my experience in life, the only way you're ever going to get to the other side of this journey is you have got to suffer to grow. To grow, you must suffer. And some people will get it, some people won't. But they have to see what their journey is to start their journey. Several people live to be 100 years old, and they have great lives, and they have great kids. Their kids go to college and all sort of stuff. But somewhere in their life, there was a point where they had a decision to make. They can go left or right on this path. Left was the easy route. Right was the hard route. A lot of people take the easy route. And they had a good life that way, but the better life was going to the right side. And you may have 20 years of pain and suffering to get past it, but a lot of us die never truly starting our journey. And I would tell this young person, you gotta start your journey. It may suck, but it will come out the other side where you're coasting. That challenge and feeling of that person who's waking up at 3:30 in the morning and say, hey, put your shit on, we're going for a run. We don't like that challenge. We like that person who says, hey, you know what, man, I don't feel good today, man. And they say, oh, it's okay, brother. We'll take a day off, man. We'll get a pizza and shit, watch the game. We like that. We love that feeling. Why? Because you understand, man, we're good, bro. We don't want that motherfuckers like this. Hey, man, no, bro. Get your fucking shit on, man. Stop being a punk. We don't want that in our lives. We don't want that person who's constantly challenging our weaknesses. We want that person who's constantly, making us feel nice and good and secure in ours. That's the mediocrity of life. We want to be the best amongst the average people. People wonder, how do you stay hungry all the time? Because after I accomplish something, I don't sit back like a lot of guys who graduate buds, graduate this, graduate that. They get comfortable. They wonder why I'm getting weak, man. I don't know, I lost my edge. What's going on? Because once you hit the top of the fucking mountain, guess what happened? I'm good. So you wonder why you're falling down now. Because once you reach the top of the mountain, you got to build a fucking another one. That's mediocrity. There's a lot of people in mediocrity who have a nice resume, but they're one-timers, man. They hit a one-time deal, they busted it open, got a lot of money, but they're good. You're mediocre now, man. What are you fucking doing today, tomorrow, the next fucking day? That's why I don't listen to theorists. I don't listen to all that bullshit. I listen to a motherfucker who's like this, man. What's wrong, man? I'm fucking tired, dude. Why are you tired? Because tomorrow, I gotta do the fucking shit again, man. Whatever the shit is that made me fucking nauseous and sick to my stomach, it made me hurt, there's no ending. And that's the person I listen to. That's the person who's gained knowledge. You gain knowledge through suffering. And on the other end of suffering is a world that very few have ever seen. It's a beautiful world, because that's where you find yourself. You don't find yourself in over here. You find yourself on the other end. Like the 100-mile race I was on, I ran it for 24 hours. I found myself on the other end of that fucking race. That 19 hours, I found, wow, there's a whole nother fucking world out here that I've never even saw. But the world's in your mind. And that's what all that mediocrity is about. Mediocrity is contagious. You're setting the example every single day of your life. And being civilized feels so good. I'm sorry, man. Once you get to the top, you may retire, but you ain't never coming back home, man, because now you're judged. people see you falling off. You want to be that guy who knows I may be retired from the sport or from whatever I did, but I'll be damned if you ever see me looking like shit, feeling like shit, not arriving. People, I've arrived mentality. You're always setting the example. Civilization feels so good. These comfortable feelings are what people want. They want retirement. They want that. They need that. It's a yearning feeling. I want it too. People love putting a label on me about, my God, man, you're just wired different. I'm not fucking wired different, dude. I'm thinking right now, after I got past my stuttering thing, now I'm on a roll, I'm good now. You know what I'm thinking about right now? I gotta fucking wake up tomorrow and do the same shit again. I gotta leave this fucking interview and go stretch out for 2.5 hours. I hate that shit. But guess what it does though? I'm constantly callousing over my victim's mentality that I once had growing up. Every day you have to do this shit. Because why? When you stop doing it, you don't just maintain it. If you stop shooting a gun, you're not gonna be a great shot if you pick a gun up a year from now. The only way to keep from getting rusty is to constantly oil that motherfucking machine. The machine is this. You gotta keep challenging it every day.
How are you guys having trouble finding a reason? I need you to find a reason. How easy is it? How easy is it to find this answer, this reason? Your why, the life that you always knew you could live, the life that you always knew you wanted, that you needed, that your people needed. You have to create that, and then you have to give the answers to the world. This is what you must do. You have to create the life, the individual, the person, everything that you always admired or wanted to be. This is a relentless pursuit that lasts a lifetime, that you'll never fully attain. The humility, the nobility, the honor, the courage, the strength in living a life that you know you'll never accomplish. Your goal of being the best you, but you go after it every day relentlessly. This is the purpose. To show people it's possible. To show the world it's possible. To realize it's not about, like I said from the beginning, fatigue is the best pillow. The only reason I can lay my head down proud at night is because I know I had a plan and I followed through at the best of my ability. That's when you realize who you are. You can't do anymore. When you're too weak to go on. When that door slams, there's no extra food coming. You're already. They passed out that dinner tray and you ate it in 3 seconds. It hit the bottom of your stomach and you're like, no, there's no way I'm going to make it. Once again, day after day after day after day, months and weeks and years, to where you finally realize you don't need what you want. All these things you think you need aren't even part of it. You're what you need. How do I make $1 million? Well, stop thinking that. Stop asking that. Ask yourself who you need to become to attract $1 million. Don't ask, how am I gonna make it? Motherfucker, and pay you shit. Wash my fucking car. It's all your fucking work. You know it. Until you're worth more. Until you solve the bigger problems. Until you even know what a problem is. Most of you guys don't even know what a big problem is. You never spend enough time to say, hey, my negative thoughts are the biggest problem in my life. Hey, my drinking is the biggest problem in my life. Hey, my perspective is the biggest problem in my life. And then I say, I know how to solve it because I was in a worse place. Find those people that were at the bottom and they found a way to claw back up to the top. Because you guys aren't at the bottom. You're not even close to rock bottom. It gets so much worse. The whole bottom falls out. And everything you once knew is just a fucking memory, a painful memory that you're trying to push down, but you learn later to use to build. True output, turning the world into words that you speak within, that fuel you, that turn you into something you must be. Your higher self creation, moment by moment. How is my character, my actions, my energy? Who am I? What am I? What am I becoming? All you guys ask those questions, you don't know who you are, you don't know where you're going, you don't know your career path, you don't know what you're gonna do. What what you're gonna do is work relentlessly every day to create the individual you admire in every way and give that motherfucker to the world. Do you not get this? Along that, you will have solved so many exponentially powerful problems that would help people's lives that you would be this wealth of knowledge from that path you travel. Start now. Start now and realize there's no tomorrow. Sink yourself into the present. Learn, grow, absorb everything, observe everything. You have to get all the stuff to realize it's not about the stuff. You have to get ripped to realize it wasn't even about that. You have to attain it all to then realize it was the path that you took and the freedom in the moment that you were actually after. So now create and you'll be free. Understand this. Hesitation blocks manifestation. Hesitation blocks creation. It's procrastination. You don't even understand. The price for that is the life that you could have lived. When you think you're at the bottom, realize how much worse it's going to get if you don't just listen today to your conscience, not me. The funny thing is I tend to side with your conscience because I'm siding with mine. And we all hear that same voice from the I love you guys. We'll be here. We'll be here being the example, proving the point, sacrificing all the pleasures that people think they deserve just to be the individual that we always need. That's it. The motherfucker you always need. Creation of that man. I love you guys. Let's go. Stop. The delusion's gotta stop. You guys are wishing for less problems, smaller problems. Your problems and how weak they are is why you're so weak. You're just asking to be weaker. Everything I've been through is what made me. I went through the hardest of problems in the penitentiary that I don't need you to face. And when I came out here, because I was unbreakable in there, I was unbreakable out here. Those problems are meant to build you for what's coming. So stop the delusion where you believe you're going to be a respectable, unbreakable motherfucker when you're fucking crying about the most common problems on this motherfucking planet. I don't even understand how people can come to me with shit about diet and food and depression and big. Shut the fuck up. Work yourself past that shit. None of this shit exists in the penitentiary. Because it can't. They don't write stories about some depressed person in their fucking house. They write stories about motherfuckers who went to war. Motherfuckers who endured hardship and came out a realer motherfucker. Not some bitch who fucking stayed in his house and crushed himself with his own freedom. Your guys' freedom is fucking you because you're so fucking weak. And then you look at your people and tell them your grandiose stories about how now you're gonna kill it. Nah, babe. This time I'm really gonna do it. These wall-eyed halibut tits are gonna be gone by March. Watch. And they just get bigger because you're a bitch, homeboy. When your people don't even value your word, when they're like, oh, another story from Kevin. Kevin's telling another story about how he's gonna be so ripped and so rich by next fucking year. When your people are sick of your bullshit stories, you gotta check yourself. Anything I tell my people, they automatically believe. They're like, no shit you will. Because that's the man that's created during problems, during adversity. The man who says, I won't be stopped during times of adversity. That's the man who crushes it during all times. That's the man who takes pride in his ability to overcome. That's not the motherfucker who sits there and cries the second something ain't going his fucking way. I don't want it to go my way. If I wake up without a problem, there's a problem. Because I'm too fucking comfortable. Now I'm a comfortable bitch like these pussies who get their way so fucking often. Motherfucker, you guys are checking into the wrong source. Your conscience is giving you the fucking guide. Go fucking harder. Push yourself more. If you're going through a breakup, someone died, life fucking problems, addiction, anything. When life is rough, you need to go harder. You don't take your foot off the gas. You don't run to these vices. You don't pull this bullshit. You go harder on yourself to make yourself stronger because life is preparation. I tell all you motherfuckers, life is preparation. How'd you do it, Wes? Wes, how'd you do it? How'd you get all these views on YouTube? How'd you fucking blow up your business and your Instagram? Motherfucker, life is preparation. I've been preparing for 15 fucking years. You only seen me online, really online, for 3. I tell you motherfuckers, your first YouTube video is gonna suck. But mine didn't. Mine didn't, okay? Mine got 600,000 views, my first one. My second got 2.4 million. The views are only lower now because we have to register as 18 and up, you dumb motherfuckers. You don't get that shit? The people who have problems with their channel getting shut down, it's because they're not registering as 18 and up. They're trying to get all the views, and their content is not able to be seen by all viewers. So they have problems getting their channel up. When you just say, hey, I'm 18 and up, the views get cut by fucking 10 or 24. Well, you don't got those problems. People always ask me, well, why don't they cancel you? Why don't they fucking you? I'm not trying to fucking still play for the views and all this shit. I want the message to not get taken. I want to leave these videos behind. So all you top rich motherfuckers who are so comfortable that you're fucking your life up with too much freedom by allowing yourself to avoid pain at all costs. That's what this fucking is. Neurosis, pain avoidance. The leading cause of neurosis is pain avoidance. What is neurosis? Anxiety, depression, obsessive compulsive disorders, mild mental illness. You guys are falling victim to pain avoidance. When you go hard, none of this shit happens. I don't have any of that shit because I'm crushing life. And you motherfuckers post that fucking quote. Sharks don't wake up and stress. Sharks wake up and start attacking and biting shit or some shit like that. And I look at your page, motherfucker, looks like you just been biting donuts in half. You soft ass motherfucker. Don't you titty having fucks get it? You can't talk. A soft exterior is proof of a soft interior. How the fuck you still mean mugging with tits, homeboy? We know you're soft. You fucked yourself over on the daily. You don't want to be soft. No men do. And still yet, you are. How the fuck do you still have a foot to stand on? Shut the fuck up. Fat motherfucking people are the biggest joke when they try to act like they have life advice. So wait, you're this intellectual who just fucks your life off? You just fucked your life off. And you're so smart, you know all this shit. No person who trashes their body lives a present life. Their conscience won't let them. An ego-filled fat fuck will say, no, I don't have regret for what I do. They have such a big ego, they will lie and say their conscience isn't telling them they're better than this. You're better than this. You're better than this. Quit trashing the gift I gave you. Your conscience is the authentic voice of God. And you ain't living how you're supposed to when they're trashing that gift, motherfucker.
Under your weaknesses is your biggest strength. If you put the fucking work in, motherfucker, you get up early. You take pride in that wake up time. There's no negative self-talk. There's only gratitude for this life you've been given the second you rise. Anyone who hates the world, I think we know a lot about themselves. And you can literally, it's moment by moment though. People think it's like, oh, you hate the world, you hate yourself. And that's for sure. No, you can turn it around. When you start to love yourself, when you start to cultivate that self-respect, you see love and respect in others. It's moment by moment. I will literally, if I even go out of alignment with my thoughts, actions, or energy that day, because everything's about alignment. If I go out of alignment and I start to hate on myself, then I automatically check myself and realize that I'm probably I'm more than likely gonna project that onto people. The second I'm failing, I'm projecting them as failures. So, I mean, people get my message misconstrued because sometimes I do that, but it's in the form of love. Like, they're so capable. They're so capable because how the fuck would I not believe that? I came from absolutely below the bottom. 3 years. Now I'm living the dream life out of my creation of pure alignment, like self-mastery. The man who has a certain level of self-mastery will manifest anything that he can visualize. And so I had this vision. I created this level of self-mastery, otherwise known as fucking discipline. And then
just manifested that through the daily steps of alignment. My thoughts, actions, and energy were aligned with the outcome I want, and I would not fail. I would not take a day off. I would not break, because breaking was more painful than anything. I would just literally feed off not getting my way, like take pleasure in not being pleased at a sickening level. The door's not opening for a year. Yeah. I'm not gonna step out. And I'm just waiting for these pussies, these bitches to crack. I'm like, listen to them. They ain't got no coffee and they're already crying. I'm gonna do some more burpees and more push-ups. I thrive off of this. And at that point, I was still sharking on them, and I hadn't realized that they were actually gonna be my life's purpose. They would see my feet in the window doing handstand push-ups before they're up.
Got it.
They would hear me sounding off outside of the door, like sounding off for my people, you know? And then I'm telling them, hey, Dago West, cell 123, sounding off for my daily routine. And I'm telling everyone, I'm working out again. And then I'm working out again. And I'm working out again. And even in solitaire, in the shoe, you go to the cages. And we came out to the cages, it was a different level of veins and muscle popping that these soft ass motherfuckers didn't know. Like, they worked out, but they didn't understand how to track their food and withhold instant gratification when that brownie was on the tray. They would trade their meat for the brownie. Take all the sweets, take all the carbs. I'm eating just meat, and I'm gonna train triple as hard until I just got fucking diced. And then when I get diced and I get some canteen, I would reverse diet. And I would properly write down all my macros as best as I could with the measurements I had and the foods that I had to be able to reverse diet, cut myself down, and even reverse diet while in prison. About a 52-year-old guy goes, hey Wes, my nephew won't listen to me. What do? I said, bro, I wouldn't fucking listen to you. Why do you think he would listen to you? I said, motherfucker, do you even listen to you? Most of you guys don't even listen to you, and you want people to listen to you. What the fuck is that? Wake up every day with goals and plans and fucking piss them down the drain. I do not do that, and that's why I'm successful. Woke up at 2:45 a.m. for the last 13 years straight without fail. Without fail. That's the corners. Literally, that self-mastery from that. Like, literally, all these small daily wins, like we've said, that we stack to literally boost us every day to just tell ourselves that, nah, I'm not fucking stopping. This is how we defeat our greatest weaknesses. You want to defeat alcoholism? Wake up early, have 5 fucking meals a day that are based on purpose over pleasure, work out in a manner that's based on your fucking health over fucking, I want to go kick back on the couch. Like 10 wins a day stacked based on purpose over pleasure. And then by the time that loss that you take at night, which is going and getting fucking shit-faced with your buddies, comes, you're gonna be so strong that you're gonna choose purpose over pleasure again. And you're gonna be able to defeat that weakness because you've chosen to be strong all day.
Retired Navy SEAL David Goggins is described as the toughest men on the planet.
Holding the pull-up record, 4,000 pull-ups in 17 hours.
Also an ultra-marathon runner with more than 60 races.
Everybody thinks I'm Superman. I had to tell them the truth.
I was not always this strong guy you see.
David Goggins is the only member of the U.S. Armed Forces to ever complete SEAL training.
He beat the living hell out of me.
U.S. Army Ranger School.
I had stuff on my notebook, we're going to kill you.
And Air Force Tactical Air Controller training.
That's when the real war started for me.
Athlete, speaker, soldier, and New York Times bestselling author, often referred to as the hardest motherfucker on planet Earth. Why is the truth so important?
The scariest thing in the world to me, even to this day, was that could have been the rest of my life. I thought then I was trying hard. That's the scariest thing in the world. I thought then, 297 pound, working for Ecolab, spraying for cockroaches, making $1,000 a month. I thought that was me at my 100% potential. Come to find out, a few years later, I wasn't anywhere near that. 106 pounds less, graduate Navy SEAL training, went on to do all these other things. Looking back on that, that was me trying hard. That's why people gotta understand, what is in us, we have no idea until we start trying hard. And I mean really trying hard, where you're obsessed with, hey, this is my new norm. My new norm is that, wow, this isn't always fun. It's not always meant to be fun. And that's when you know you're trying hard.
And so people listening to us that maybe are at 20% or 30%, how do they shatter that myth that they've been telling themselves, about, yeah, I'm going hard, I'm going max, and yet they're not seeing the results? Like, how do they actually shake themselves out of that? Because, There's a great quote, I think it's by this guy named Richard Feynman, who says, the first principle is that you must not fool yourself, and you're the easiest person to fool. So we construct these crazy Disneyland realities in our brain, right? And then feed it back to ourselves. How do you shatter that?
Well, your first thing, like you're fighting, we all have two people. We all have two people. And I'm not saying you're crazy. We have the easy voice, which is that 20% telling yourself that I'm easy at 90% of my full potential, maybe 100% at that 20%. That's that voice that we all love. That's that very comfortable voice that's that mommy holding you saying it's going to be okay. Doesn't care how good you are, just loves you. Just loves you no matter how messed up you are in life. That's where you want to be at. So that's that one voice. This other voice that we walk very far away from is the voice saying, hey man, you ain't doing shit. So we try to get this voice out of our head completely. And we live over here in this lane. So what you have to do first is turn up this voice over here. The voice saying things to you that aren't nice. That it's in our head saying, you know what, man, dude, you're not doing shit. You're not and it's not putting yourself down. People take this the wrong way in this new society. I'm not saying to put yourself down. I'm saying listen to the truth. And the truth isn't in the 20%. The truth is in this other part of your brain saying, look, man, you're wasting a bunch of percentage here. We have 80 more percent that we're not tapping into, because in this other 80% is suffering, pain, failure, self-doubt, darkness, and then a whole bunch of light. But to get to this light, you gotta go through all of this shit. So a lot of us know that. We know.
We do know deep down.
Yeah, I can get over here, but over here, man, this is much better, because I gotta go through this journey that is not fun. This from 20 to 100%, this shit in between is not fun. So we decide to live over here. So everybody goes, how do you do that? You know exactly how to do that. You know exactly, it's not a magic trick. There's nothing I talk about in that book that's a magic trick. It's all back down to a very primitive mindset of we just have to do. It's like breathing. Breathing becomes normal. Like we don't know that we're doing it. That's how you have to live your life. When that alarm clock goes off at 4 or 5 in the morning, your mind says no. You just say, this is what we do. It's what we do now. Because to get to where you want to go, the amount of pain involved, I'm not saying physical, I'm not saying you got to break yourself off. The amount of mental pain of how many times you're going to have to do something that you don't want to do to get to where you want to go. There's going to be more times you do something that you don't want to do than you are going to want to do it. And that's your new norm. That's your new norm. So then it's like breathing. And then once you do this over and over and over again, it becomes like breathing. I don't want to live this lifestyle, but to get to the other side of this, I have to. So if you really want it, you realize what trying is and what trying is not. So
How positive can you be when your life goes to complete shit? How positive can you be? Can you stick to your nutrition when your life goes to hell? Can you stick to your workout when your life goes to shit? Or are you gonna run like a bitch to those vices that always saved you from yourself? When I sat in the shoe that long, we had nothing to look forward to. motherfucker in there was on heroin but me. But me. Every one of them. Every one. My celly's standing at the window to get his tray. Oh, what's for breakfast? Oh, and he's talking about fucking the CO, and the CO's looking at him like, Jesus Christ, pull it together. Don't you ever look at that shit and glorify it and look at it as any bit hard or tough or cool that you and your friends can go do some dope. That is the bitchest, weakest, running away from your fucking blessed ass life shit ever. And you know you feel like a bitch, because I've been there in that bitch ass situation, feeling like less of myself and just giving up on life. It's pathetic and it's disrespectful to everybody who loves you and believes in you. It's straight up disrespectful.
When I was 297 pounds and I was fat as hell trying to be a Navy SEAL, the scariest thing in the world to me, even to this day, was that could have been the rest of my life. I thought then I was trying hard. That's the scariest thing in the world. I thought then, 297 pound, working for Ecolab, spraying for cockroaches, making $1,000 a month. I thought that was me at my 100% potential. Come to find out, a few years later, I wasn't anywhere near that. 106 pounds less, graduate Navy SEAL training, went on to do all these other things. Looking back on that was me trying hard. That's why people gotta understand, what is in us, we have no idea until we start trying hard. And I mean really trying hard, where you're obsessed with, hey, this is my new norm. My new norm is that, wow, this isn't always fun. It's not always meant to be fun. And that's when you know you're trying hard.
The reason most people don't get anywhere in life is because they tell themselves before they even start whatever it is they're about to start that they're probably not going to win, and that giving it a good try is a fucking victory. And that's why they stay the same. Okay? So you have two different kinds of people. You have the kind of people who are looking to fix their mentality forever, which 75 Hard will fucking do. Yeah. If you do 75 Hard, followed by the Live Hard program, for one full year of your life, it will change you to the point where you can flip that switch back on and off at will. All right? Now, does that need to be tuned up every now and then? Yeah. It's a perishable skill. Just like shooting a pistol is a perishable skill. Just like running a fucking mile is a perishable skill. Yeah. Just like doing almost anything in life, discipline is a perishable skill. So we have to keep it tuned, and we have to learn to test it. And that's what this program does. For the beginner, the person that has zero discipline, this will bring a tremendous amount of discipline into your life, cultivate a skill set that you know, that you didn't know you had, and it will enhance all the skill sets that you thought you had tremendously, okay? For someone who's already had discipline in their lives at some point previously, it will fine tune that. It will remind you how to turn it on and off. It will remind you how to create momentum at will, and it'll give you true control over your fucking future. Because the only way to control your future is to control your present action. If you're out of control of your present action, you do have zero control over your future. But if you're able to make every single choice that you need to make to get where it is you're wanting to go 3 years from now, and you have the discipline to execute on that choice, that's why we do 75 Hard. Okay? So I'm tired of arguing with the fat fucking corn dog eating sloppy motherfucker. This ain't for you. This is for elite people that want to go to the next fucking level.
You have to believe in one thing, and that is yourself. And I'm not saying don't believe in God or what you believe in, but right now, for you to find greatness in yourself, you're not going to find it by looking in a book or by even hearing me. I may give you the spark, but you've got to go inside yourself to find it. And that means you got to be quiet. Shut the fuck up, go in a room, stop talking, search your soul, search your mind, search your abilities, and you'll find it. But if you're not looking for it, you won't find it. So you got to go start your journey. And the journey starts with you finding, why the hell am I here on this planet Earth? Why am I here? And if you don't know that, you will live the rest of your life searching, always asking the question, why? All the things that I failed and I went back. I failed and I went back and I finally succeeded. All the things that kicked my ass, I put them all in the cookie jar, because at times of hell, even the hardest men, in times of suffering, what we do is we forget how hard we really are. Because that's what suffering is. Suffering is a test. That's all it is. Suffering is the true test of life. And so that cookie jar travels in my brain. So whenever I get put in a situation where I have poopy pants, the woe is me mentality of, oh my God, life sucks, I take a second, I take the 1 second decision. I step out of my life for 1 second, go in the cookie jar, pull up, oh, motherfucker, you were in 3 hell weeks and finished 2. One of those hell weeks, a guy died because it was so bad. Oh, you are a motherfucking badass. You are. I put it back in the cookie jar and I remember who the fuck I really am. I'm not the kid that was called nigger. I'm not the scared kid. This is who I am. It's a reminder of who you truly are at the core of yourself. But what I was saying to myself the whole time on that track, and this is what I say to myself. Self-talk and visualization are 2 keys to my success. I believed for that last 19 miles, I was indestructible. Because I took myself in that chair, crapping up my back, peeing blood down my leg, shin splints, stress fractures. I use all that for motivation versus negativity. I use it for motivation. I said to myself, who on this fucking earth would still be going right now? You are. You are. You gotta be the hardest motherfucker on the planet. Is it true? I don't give a fuck. At that time, it got me to the finish line of that fucking race. I believed it. I believe it today. I believed it enough to where my body said, he's not gonna stop. And I took all the negative things. I need to go to the hospital, this and that. And I used it all. Who the hell could even get out of that chair? Who the hell would even think about taping stress fractures up? You did. All those things I use for motivation. And for me, I'm not some naturally God-given guy. I don't have a great bit of talent in anything. So what got me through horrible times was the dark side. My name is David Goggins. I created Goggins. Goggins is the guy that can take anything you put in front of him. You want to break my motherfucking legs? So be it. I have a way of going to a place like I did in that race where all the pain and suffering that they put on top of me in Hell Week, I will reverse that pain and suffering and I will take your soul. So every instructor that put me through Buzz, my job, what drove me was I wanted you to go home that night after you beat the living shit out of me and I smiled in your face. I wanted you to feel worse than I did and you were going home to a nice warm bed with your wife or your kids and a nice meal and I was still out there in the grip, suffering for another 100 hours. I wanted you to think about me knowing that I'm comfortable being very unfucking comfortable. And I want you to think about when you went through fucking Hell Week, how uncomfortable you were and how bad you wanted to quit, knowing I'm not thinking that fucking way. So the dark side is something that I've designed. It's an evil place I can go that very few things can hurt me. I use the hurt you're trying to put on me, I flip it upside down and use it. You trying to use it for kryptonite? No, it's power pillars for me. I'm using it for strength. I just flip negative into positive. That's all it is.
The big life, you want to build, a big business. You want to become more physically fit. You want to build better relationships. That's why you listen to this show. That's why you're here. You're here to learn how to be better. And to be better, you have to first realize something that is paramount to long-term success in life. And it's this: conditions will never be perfect, ever. Okay. And a lot of people, me included, for a long time, sat around and waited for the stars to align or the sea to part or for everything to be perfect for me to just go. And if it wasn't perfect, I'd come up with a justification. When I was 350 pounds and completely unhealthy, not training, not doing my workouts, I would, tell myself, I'd look outside and I'd see, that it wasn't, 70 degrees and sunny. And I would come up with this little story about how it's cold and I'll start tomorrow. Or if it was raining, dude, you know what? I'll just do some sit-ups and push-ups, knowing damn well that the sit-ups and push-ups isn't what the fuck I need to do. I need to get my fat ass out on the road and fucking move. Okay? What I'm talking about here is justifying our lack of action based upon the external circumstances. And this is something that every single one of you listening, if you understand and if you accept and just say, this is the way it is, your life will get exponentially easier for you to win. All right? So you have to understand that when you look outside, or you look at whatever it is with your business, or you look at whatever it is with your relationship, whatever these things are that you're trying to do, there are going to be wave after wave after wave after wave of inconvenient shit that hits you in the motherfucking face. All right? That doesn't matter. People who win regardless of those waves. It's not that they don't have those waves. It's that they say, hey, I can't control what the fuck is going on. All I control is what I decide in my mind and the actions I take. Some days are going to be harder than others. Some days are going to be a little easier than others. But I can promise you one fucking thing for sure. There will never, ever, ever be a day that goes exactly as you want it to go. It doesn't exist. So with that being said, if you're going to wait around for perfect circumstances, how can you ever accomplish anything? And that's what I want you guys to think about. I want you to think about all the times that you might be justifying or talking yourself out of or coming up with an easier alternative because the conditions aren't what you want them to be. You know, maybe you don't want to do your work today because you had a fight with your significant other. Maybe you don't want to do your workouts because, like I said, the weather sucks, especially here in Missouri, dude. Yesterday it was fucking snowing. The day before that it was fucking 70-something degrees. Okay, you think I wanted to go out in the snow and do that shit? No, but guess what? I did it because I understand that every time I do something that is inconvenient, every time I do something that is hard, every time I do something that other people wouldn't do, I'm building the strength of my mental discipline to move forward regardless of the external circumstances in our lives. And this is a skill. This is not a gift. It is not something I was born with. It's something that people learn how to do over time. And I can tell you right now, every single motherfucker that you see doing whatever it is that you want to do, whether it be in business, whether it be in sports, whether it be in music, whether it be in fitness, whether it be having a great relationship, these people, all of them, will wake up and do the fucking work regardless of what's going on in their life. Period. Okay? So how do we get to this point? How do we get to a point where we will move forward regardless of what's going on in life? Because this is something most people won't do. You know it too. Not only, it's not just you, it's most people. So if you can get you to do it, how much of an advantage does that give you over the rest of people? A fucking huge one. So what I would like you to consider is, how can you improve this part of your life? Well, it's real simple, guys. And I learned this lesson from a guitar teacher I had 10 years ago. All right. And he said to me, hey, Andy, you don't have any fucking patience. And I'm like, well, no shit, Matthew. I have fucking zero patience. And he's like, you know how you get patience? And I said, how? And he says, by doing things that require patience. And that's what I want you to remember. If you need to understand and you need to develop how to operate regardless of what's going on in external circumstances when things are inconvenient, how do you get better at that? Well, you get better at that by doing things that are inconvenient intentionally. Okay, looking for opportunities to move forward when the circumstances are not ideal. All right, looking for opportunities to make things harder on yourself. Looking for opportunities to develop the mental aspect of discipline and fortitude that are going to move you forward. Guys, this is a major, major, major key to winning long-term in life. All right? I'm not talking about motherfuckers that win once. I'm not talking about, that's not my people. That's not you. Okay? I'm talking about making a life where you are a perpetual winner in any direction you decide to go. All right? And this is a skill you're going to have to develop. So, number one, realize, hey, do you have this or do you not? Take inventory of how many times you're talking yourself out of everything. Take inventory how many times you justify your lack of action based upon what's going on with your mood or your world or your relationship or your job. How many times are you talking yourself out of doing what you know you need to do? My guess is probably a lot more than you should be. All right? So guys, first realize that you have to build this skill. And secondly, start looking to actively build that. Now, a lot of people, you know, all the fucking weak ass motherfuckers in the world will fucking comment, why would I work to make things harder on myself? This is fucking stupid. who the fuck is this guy? Well, this is a motherfucker that built a whole lot of shit from fucking nothing, telling you how to fucking win. Okay? That's what it is. And I'm telling you that if you want to develop this superhuman skill of kicking ass every single time, no matter what the fuck is going on in your life, no matter what's going on in your world, no matter what's going on with the weather, no matter what's going on in our crazy ass society, if you want to learn how to kick ass, regardless of all those things, you will actively seek out opportunities to strengthen this muscle that is doing shit when it's not convenient. Okay? That's called discipline. Now, discipline, guys, is the key to everything. This is why I talk about it so much. If you could be in control of your decisions and your actions 100% of the time, what could you not accomplish? And how could you be held back? And how could you not get where you want to go? Because if we're being honest with ourselves, the reason you're not where you want to be can only be one of two things. It could be one, you're working the wrong plane. And in that case, there's lots of people out there, including me, that will help you figure out how to get on the right plane. Secondly, if you are on the right plan, it's that you're not doing it long enough. You haven't been doing it long enough. Okay? And the reason that you probably haven't been doing it long enough is because you fucking talk yourself out of it every time the shit ain't convenient. Success and winning is not convenient. Success and winning is not comfortable. Success and winning in fucking life is going to be a daily fucking task for you. Okay? But the one thing that can make it exponentially easier is understanding that the waves of inconvenience are going to crash on your fucking face, regardless of who you are, regardless of what race you are, regardless of where you come from, regardless of what country you're from. It's just the nature of being a fucking human in society, any society. Shit just doesn't go as planned. All right? So work on this.
Pull up Goggins Iron Man. There's this fucking dude who's he's a Navy SEAL. They call him the toughest athlete on the planet. This dude ran a 48-hour race. It's a mile track, and you run for 48 hours.
We like to take these very quick fixes in life. We want the 6-minute abs approach to life.
Yeah.
Nah, man. There's no permanent in that.
Yeah.
There's no permanent in that, man. They think I'm the craziest person on the planet. You are so far fucking removed from that statement. It's not even funny. I was 290 pounds twice in my life. I do not like to do the things I do, but there's humongous satisfaction from doing it. There's humongous satisfaction from lacing your shoes up saying, I don't really want to go for a run today, and then running. And then getting back and saying, wow,
I did it.
I did it.
Yeah.
And that's what it's about. It's about these small steps to doing things you don't want to do. Light day is at least a 7-mile run. Every other day, so about 4 days a week, calisthenics plus gym workout. So I don't do any gym workout without hitting pull-ups, push-ups. I call it nickels and dimes. So like 5 pull-ups, 10 push-ups, or I'll go, quarters and whatever, like it's like 25 pull-ups or in like 50 push-ups. So I have all these different things I messed up. So I will do weights with calisthenics, and every single night I stretch. For at least every night, I stretch for at least 2 hours. Examine your fucking brain, and that takes some hard work and suffering. If you're not willing to do that, I'm sorry.
And it seems like there's no way to do that as a bystander.
No, you can't watch it, man.
Yeah.
You gotta get out there and be like, oh, this hurts. This hurts real fucking bad. I don't think this is smart. And then, guess what happens? The body will adjust. It will adjust. Everybody goes, well, then the next question I get, but is there a time when it doesn't adjust? What the fuck? I get some of the stupidest shit, man. Like, don't take it with a grain of fucking salt, people.
Those questions are people that are wanting to quit.
Yes. And that's what I say.
When should I quit?
Yeah, like, do you ever feel like, no, shut the fuck up. Stop. I don't want to, like that. There's always that next question. No, don't take it like go out there and run through a brick wall as many times as you can. No, I'm not saying be me. Don't run 205 miles at one time. I'm not saying do that. I'm saying start to learn the mind is powerful. It's powerful, man. It's unbelievable.